Good evening, everyone. So, what I want you to consider, right? What if the conflict in your office started long before the workplace? Imagine this. We hire resumes, but we work with dysregulated nervous systems. Nervous systems that taught us how to protect ourselves, looking for safety in every experience and every engagement. Because the truth is, we don't leave our childhood at home. We simply carry it in how we respond to threat, in how we respond to silence, in how we respond to feedback, praise, and even power. And so behind every suit or within every suit is a history. And sometimes that history shows up loud with love and compassion, and other times that history shows up with neglect, rejection, comparisons, and criticism, looking to feel loved and safe. And so childhood wounds are those unmet needs, those unhealed wounds that we've learned to live with because we're grown and we're over it. But really and truly, we're looking for safety, belonging, and love, and a place to feel seen and heard. So shame in the office shows up as perfectionism. Abandonment tightens its grip as control, and neglect says either I work myself to burnout or I just disappear. And we call people disruptive or hard to deal with, but really and truly they're just dysregulated. And as much as we'd like to think that our brain is past a certain experience, our body remembers every single experience that we've gone through. And so, was it really that email that you got that made you overreact, or was it something deeper at the root that said to you, what did I do this time? You start to blame yourself for things that there's no proof for it, but you start to blame yourself anyways. And so childhood wounds that are not healed turn into adult patterns, and adult patterns turns into workplace culture. And the cycle continues generationally, systematically, culturally, and then we call it, this is how we've always functioned. So the procrastinator, the perfectionist, the people pleaser, all having these coping mechanisms, but one root. If I'm not perfect, I won't be accepted. Anybody can relate? And so conflict at work starts to repeat itself because what was taught back then starts to repeat now, thinking that that's how it should go. But really and truly, we're all operating in a dysregulated nervous system. Yeah? So I've seen brilliant people shut down after feedback. Not because they don't care, but because somewhere inside says, if I speak, then I'll be shamed. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to hold it together. And those are protective ways that we've learned to keep ourselves together. So when the body registers error as danger, it learns fear of trying. And fear of failure is what it repeats itself to keep itself alive until you teach it safety. And so when we have pain that is unaddressed, the output lowers and people stop showing up. Because the truth is, the body, dysregulated nervous system cannot sustain productivity. Yeah? And so we check out. But there's hope. We can learn to heal. We can learn to regulate because things that are learned can be unlearned. Yes? We can put the tools in place to learn how to regulate our nervous systems to feel safe. So 3 things that you can take away today. Empathy. Start to name how you feel and not blame the person. Yeah? Safety. Regulate before you relate. Practice breathing. We did some of that last night. Right? And so if you remember nothing, remember this. They are not difficult. They're probably dysregulated. And though their histories didn't start with you, it can definitely end with you. By deciding to use empathy, creating a space where healing and productivity can coexist in the same space. And then we have disruptive, creative people. Not difficult people, but regulated people. Now imagine a workplace where somebody says, I wasn't at my best today, but this is what I'll do to repair it. And that confession is met with compassion, understanding, and taking off the labels of you're so unprofessional, but I understand you. Let's hold space for each other. And with that, we can bring transformation. Yes? It is said that small hinges swing big doors. When you look on the doors in the room, the small hinges swing big doors. And so my encouragement to you is start small, start kind, and start today. And when the inner child becomes seen and heard, can't come off, and heard, we have an adult who can show up and regulate.